Let's see how this is going. All right. Good afternoon, our friends. How are we today? All right. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. Watching to see how the lag is doing here. We have Chris in the house. Welcome, Chris. How's the feed on your end, my friend? If you could comment below really quick, thumbs up, thumbs down, and we'll get started. I was checking out Phil's channel. I forgot that he's live a lot earlier than we are over there across the pond in Britain. So if you're bored after this, you can go rewatch that and support their channels. Him and Natalie, they each have channels. And so, Phil, if you're watching later, I drop by to say hi, and I'll try to catch you if you're still going after this. And so with that being said, welcome friends, welcome followers, welcome new faces, welcome YouTube family. I am Tobias Josephson. Thank you, my friend. And we are Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. Welcome to our 1 p.m. workshop live series live stream. Today we're going to talk about some things that are a little uncomfortable, like we have been. And today will be no different. We'll work on tomorrow's live stream after this. I'll post updates, etc. I will be traveling tomorrow. We'll be leaving here at 6:30 a.m. We are probably 2 hours southwest of Chicago. And so we have to make it from here all the way to where we're headed in Pennsylvania, Waynesboro County to be exact. So we're hoping to get there in about a 12-hour time frame, etc. And so that'll give us time to find a room to crash in, etc. All that good stuff. And so I'll probably be doing a live stream in the car tomorrow. And it'll probably be brief. It won't be anything scripted or anything like that, Chris. So we're going to have a lot of fun. I think we're excited to meet Matt. I think Matt and team are excited to meet us. I think it's going to be a win. All right. It's going to be more of a meet and greet icebreaker type investigation. All right. Remember, we haven't met face to face physically yet. And so we're all excited for this. I'm not as anxious as others. I have no doubt that it'll work out just fine. And I think we have a beautiful friendship in the making. Okay, and with that being said, we have two people in here, so welcome to the second person. All right, Chris, are you ready? Let's get ready and open. The title of this live stream today is Containment in Your Investigations Are Failing Before Your Evidence Does. All right, more specifically, containment fails before evidence does. Okay, it's a rough question. We understand that it's going to make some people probably a little bit upset to talk about this, and that's okay. Just remember, this framework isn't for everybody. Okay, and if it bothers you, one, lean in. Maybe you'll learn something. Two, we're not here to attack anyone's beliefs. Okay, this is just our framework, our structure, etc., etc. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you something extremely, extremely uncomfortable. Are you investigating or are you performing? That's a serious question. Are you investigating or are you performing? Do you want proof or do you want validation in your hunts? I've said it a couple times. I'll say it again. Do you want credible investigations or do you want narrative-driven, escalated investigations? All right, where you're just trying to sell instability. Would your investigations survive another team's scrutiny? Would your investigation survive etc., etc. Take your pick. If a neutral observer watched your footage, what would they think? That's what we're trying to get to here. If a neutral observer saw your footage, what would they see structured in front of them? Feel free to answer these questions below. This is a fully engaged live stream. Whether you're for us or against us, the point is we really want to engage people and get conversation going here on our channel. Would your investigations survive academic scrutiny? If somebody you didn't know watched your stuff, what would they think? Would they see structured investigations? Would they see an emotional narrative? Would they see timestamps? Dramatic commentary, perhaps? Would they see repetition testing or escalation loops? It all depends on who you guys are following, etc. 1111. Right on. I've seen that numerous times in the past couple weeks. I know what that means. Thank you, Nikki. How are you? Blessings, blessed be. If the answer makes you uneasy, good. Because true containment in your investigation begins with discomfort. Maybe you don't know you're doing that. Maybe you learned from somebody else who taught you to do it that way. We don't know. Okay. Performance does feel less powerful, yes, but stay with us. A louder voice, faster speech, bigger reactions. It contaminates the environment when you do that because it's not being authentic. And when you use containment over chaos, you're using your authority, all right? And when you do in your investigations, it is a credible investigation, right? And you're not trying to sell it with yelling and being loud and being obnoxious or hearing a tick and all of a sudden the entire room thinks you're being attacked by an army of demons, okay? The engagement question: when activity spikes in your investigation, does your volume rise or do you stay calm and collected? When things escalate in your investigation, does your voice and energy rise or do you make sure to keep the tone? And that way it stays authentic, yes or no. Calm, very good. Hello, Nikki, how are you? If yes, containment just cracked, all right? And this is to get people to go, well, maybe I am and I should change things up, etc. We are not here to attack anybody, and this is not a debate. So the moment your tone shifts, the room shifts. We've already talked about that. The group shifts. We've already talked about that. The nervous system spikes. We've already talked about that. But you see how these terminologies keep coming up every single day. There's a reason for that. Stay tuned, okay? And now what? Okay, now you have a problem. Now what do you do, Tobias? Okay. If you want to change it and you realize you've made some mistakes, here's what you can do if you choose. You don't have to. Let's do a direct challenge and see how you guys do with that. Who is our, oh, that's Nikki and you. Okay. So let's be honest with ourselves here for a second, my friends. Let me check the comments and engage Christopher. Engage Dark Light Pyre. How are you? 1111 indeed, we claim. How many investigators escalate the moment something interesting happens? A knock, a cold spot, an EMF or an EVP spike, camera flicker, right? Like I said. All right, if you're doing that, And suddenly questions become aggressive. Tone becomes confrontational, like we've been talking about. See how it's being brought up again in a different way, but yet it reaffirms everything we've been talking about for the past, oh God, I want to say about a month now. Identity is assigned instantly. You're immediately trying to fill the gaps with your brain. That's a spirit. Somebody's communicating. That was evidence. Okay. Maybe not. Okay. Question 2. Can you hold monotone when something finally happens? Just like I am. We're here to observe the paranormal. We're here to observe the esoteric and spiritual. Monotone neutrality when something happens is showing your authority, all right, and it's not allowing yourself to break out of the containment protocol, which means you're actively engaging your brain and your emotions to make sure that you are not jumping to conclusions or trying to sell garbage. Most can't, and that's just a simple truth. Because intensity, let's face it, my friends, is simply addictive. Okay. But if that's all you're becoming a practicer for, and that's all you're becoming a paranormal investigator for, you might need a little bit of self work. Here's your test. If you would like to join along, we're all doing well. If a university research department reviewed your footage, what do you think they would tell you? Would they see controlled variables like most of us should be doing and using? Or would they see emotional contamination, which is more common? Would they see repeatability attempts? Would they see aggressive behaviors, calling the spirits out, etc., whatnot? Making excuses for why the cuts are happening in their feeds, etc., like we were talking about yesterday. Confirmation bias, you get the idea here, okay? Academic scrutiny would demand neutral language if somebody did look at your footage from an academic standpoint or a scientific standpoint. So they would want to be looking for neutral languages, controlled tone, like I'm holding right now, repeatable stimulus, not repeatable attempts. You see the difference there? Okay. No assumption at all. That's the goal here. You don't want to assume anything in your ritual, all right, or your practice or your investigation, all right? But the practice stuff is more for tonight. And so I'll stick to the paranormal. And you want to make sure that everything environmental or that can be explained away is ruled out. Then you have what they're looking for, neutral language. Then you have controlled setting, controlled emotions, okay? Then you have repeatable stimulus because you're not antagonizing the drift when nothing's happening. You're not letting that uncomfortableness trigger you into doing something that's just not true. If your investigation depends on drama to feel real, then containment has already failed you. I'll repeat it again. If your investigation purely depends on the drama and the selling garbage narrative to feel real, then containment has already failed you. Do you want proof? Comment down below. Or do you want validation? Do you want proof? Or do you want validation in your paranormal investigations? Do you want credible ones? Or do you want ones that you can just sell, right, based on a feeling? Proof survives scrutiny. Validation survives surprises and applause, if we're being honest. Those are not the same thing. Question 3. Have you ever felt disappointed when nothing dramatic happened in your investigation? All right. Chris says credible ones. He's correct. Now, again, we're not here to challenge anyone's belief or structure. All right. If you're doing that and you're happy doing that, so be it. Okay. But if you're not and you would like to learn a different way, you're more than welcome to try these things out that we're offering. Does that disappoint you guys to know that? Answer yes or no in the comments below. And there's no right or wrong answers with that. We don't scrutinize people here at Paranormal Witchcraft. What that is ego pressure. You're being pressured to be like everybody else around you. Please learn the difference. Ego pressure leads to escalation no matter how many ways you want to look at it or try to separate it. Let's continue. As you can tell, these go into our framework. So as they are being facilitated, they get added, and then hopefully by the end of the year, I have more of a structure, right, that fits the paranormal witchcraft business model way better than the social media platforms ideas we were trying. This is meant to lift us up and out and away from being looked at as just a social media personality. This is meant to pull us up, out, and away from being looked at as just some other ordinary content creator over there, all right? And this levels us up, all right, like it should, because we are not here to play games and escalate things, and we like credible, authentic investigations here at Paranormal Witchcraft LLC. Escalation destroys evidence and it destroys the integrity of the paranormal investigation team. I'll say that again for the people in the back. Escalation destroys evidence and it destroys the integrity of your paranormal investigation team. Right off the bat, most people will look at you and go, I don't know. Okay. Let's give you a scenario. Single knock. Could you hear that? Yes or no? All right. It's just a knock. Okay. Do you timestamp it? Most of us will, just to look at it, because we want to see if it was a knock by somebody on accident or otherwise. So timestamp, I will say yes. Anybody will do that regardless. So that one I'm going to disagree with. Ask for repetition. Here's another choice. Increase emotional intensity. Here's another choice. Or would you declare presence? So would you A, timestamp it, B, ask for repetition, C, would you antagonize it, or D, would you just call it out for what you think it is? Comment below with one of those 4 letters. Now, what I would do is the immediate reaction I gave you. I would timestamp it. 1, I doubt it's anything, but that was something nonetheless, right? Either it's skeptical, all right, or it's not, and it's actual data, but either way, something, even if it's just an accidental sound, is something to be investigated and thoroughly looked at. Get the idea? It's giving you a clue as to somebody bumped something or you have something. So either way, you still should timestamp it, at least as a good practice. Now, you can choose whatever answer you want down below. Debunking. Okay. So you would use the repetition to C. I would timestamp it. And then, of course, the next one, Chris is correct. You would say, is there anything here with us? All right. But I think what the question was alluding to is what is the first instinctual response you would give? And Chris gave a good answer. Thank you, Chris. Check evidence after. I think both, and I think all the above. Well, not all the above, but I think A and B are the appropriate answer, and I think C and D were just kind of the escalation narrative choices to see which choices the engagers would choice or would choose. Fast responses in the chat. Got a couple. One said debunking, another one said check the evidence afterwards. Both are correct, in my opinion. Containment isn't trained, it's improvised. And improvised containment collapses under pressure. When you try to use escalation, in other words, instead of strictly using containment protocol, when you use any type of emotion that isn't actual, that's going to sound wrong. Let me find a different way to say it. When you're trying to fake it, all right, your evidence will actually show it. Here's the reality. Evidence doesn't vanish when you regulate. So whether or not you're somebody on TV who just has to sell that narrative of garbage, or somebody who wants, okay, credible, authentic, validated investigations, all right, the evidence either way doesn't go away. It's very clear now. If you look at it from this angle, you can see the red flags, all right? You can see the escalation. You can see the instability. You can see the drama narratives, okay? You can see the extremities now because now we've given you a tool, containment over chaos protocol, versus what's going on the internet. Now you guys have a tool to use your free will and your logic to decide if you want to be like them or if you think you want to be a little different as well. Okay? That's all it is. Evidence doesn't vanish when you regulate. It often increases, and here's why. You're staying calm. You're remaining authoritative by staying calm. You're not letting the situation get the better of you, and that's the point. Okay, guys? You're not contaminating the atmosphere. You're remaining observant like this. Okay? Calm, controlled, collected equals responsible, equals safety, equals validation. All right. And it also equals what? Skill building. Chaos simply feeds escalation. We all know this by now, guys. Data is the only true thing that feeds discipline because the numbers don't lie if they say, okay? Final challenge question for this afternoon. Are you personally strong enough to stay boring when people around you are acting extraordinary? Okay. Are you okay with staying in containment versus everyone else around you constantly having something extraordinary happen every single time they strap the investigation equipment on? Answer down below. Because that's the test. We don't do this necessarily for the excitement per se. That is a part of it, but that shouldn't be your only reason why. Because then you are just paranormal investigating because you want to get your kicks. And it's supposed to be about the passion too. If you can't share the passion with the people who are paying good money to hunt with you and stuff, right? They're not going to feel like they got their money worth. They're not going to feel like it was interactive. They're not going to feel like your team was engaging with them at all. If you stopped once to see how a group of people that paid you money, etc., you get the idea, right? And so by using more containment, by staying calmer, by not purporting escalation every hunt, etc., like it's okay to promote that way. Like we're going to have fun, there'll be shenanigans, we might get some cool data, this place is supposed to be haunted. That's the right way to do it. But to make clips like you're being chased down the hallway constantly, etc., might be a problem and might be escalation. Can So it's not about the excitement, it's more about the control, the self control, the team control, the environment control. It's a very special boundary. It's very important because if you're taking this stuff seriously, people's lives could be in the mix of that situation too, right? If something goes wrong. So safety, safety, safety. Especially with the occult stuff that people are doing at the events, the seances, the tarot readings, left and right. So just be careful, okay? Respect indeed, my friend. Containment fails evidence before evidence does. Not because the spirits retreated or ran away or aren't present, because your investigators have shifted, or the people around you that are hunting with you, maybe they're new and you're the first crew they've seen. All right. You're going to want to make sure you give them all this good, safe, responsible services. Keep your volume low, lower your ego at all times, increase your structure, and watch what stabilizes in your paranormal investigation journey. Now, again, this framework is not for everybody. Okay. So, thank you. I am Tobias Josephson. I am the creator, owner. All right. My wife is the co owner, and we have a bunch of affiliates with us that are team members over there at Paranormal Witchcraft LLC on Facebook.com. Okay. This is our workshop, structural educations, realignment workshop. All right. It'll be continuing from this point on, going forward every day. It'll be a challenging topic like this. We'll try to make it fun like this. We'll try to make it engaging like this. We'll try to engage with you guys personally in the crowd. All right. And eventually I would like to do giveaways, etc., etc. But to do that, obviously, we have to grow, and we're on a 5-year plan. So we're not here to satisfy the people like we've seen on this live who just pop in and have the attention uh, span of a fly and then they move on to the next channel. No, we are looking for the people who are looking for channels like this. And so the more you engage with us in these chats, the better it is for the channel. The more thumbs up and likes you do for this channel, the better it is for the algorithm to get us noticed, and the more engagers that will be attracted to these live streams. Does that make sense to you guys? I think it does. One that shows love and light, shows respect. Doesn't matter if you agreed with us or not. If you found it intriguing or interesting, none the least, please share us with one of your friends or family. That really helps our efforts out over here in the business. I will take some more comments. All right. With that being said, my friends, I will spend the next 50 seconds walking myself out of the room and keep this a very solid 30-second live stream. We have some packing to finish up for the trip tomorrow with Matt Hornick and Blue Mountain Paranormal, and we will see you guys in Pennsylvania on Friday. I'll probably be giving this live stream in the car while she drives. And I'll probably go to the back seat so that way there's no interference and she can drive, etc. So it probably won't be a very long live stream, probably about a half hour, depending on how loud it's going to be in the car and how well my tablet's going to hold the signal going 80 miles an hour plus on the highway. So we will see. All right. Don't shoot me if I don't get a live stream up and rolling tomorrow, because I am like traveling literally. I won't be in one spot. I will be in motion for 12 hours tomorrow. So keep that in mind. I am Tobias Josephson. Have yourselves a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. Some people call it hump day. Some people call it the day of Mars. It all depends on who you are and where you come from and how you know us. I am Tobias Josephson. We are Paranormal Witchcraft LLC, and we are a team of practicing and psychic intuitives who also have a passion for researching and investigating paranormal and haunted locations. We also do spiritual services. If you find yourself getting in trouble in the esoteric, we do have service structures for consultations, etc. So have yourselves a beautiful night, and we will see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. Blessings and blessed be. 31 minutes is close enough.